Hey, Jamie, do you like being cozy?
I do.
And do you like staying cozy?
I like that even more.
Then just heading over to www.staycozyclothing.com,
where you can find hoodies, tees, sweaters, and much, much more, with a new line coming in the fall of this year.
and just enter The Chronicles as one word at checkout to receive 10% off your order.
And make sure you follow them on the Instagram at Stay Cozy Clothing to keep up to date with all the new designs.
Remember, guys, that's The Chronicles as one word at checkout to receive 10% off your order. There she is.
Hey.
How are you doing?
Hey, there she is.
Good. How are you guys?
Very well.
Tired? I'm fine. Absolutely fine. What's there? Have you got a green screen behind you?
No, it's just blurred the background.
Why?
I don't know. I think there's an option on Zoom.
Why did I never think to do that? It's
Why
got this fucking chaotic background. You can see my kitchen and shit.
And it's like, oh, nobody needs to know what's here at all. Let's not, like, just, yeah, no one should see what's going on in the background. Yeah,
you don't want to know. Like, I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. So we'll leave the listeners, the viewers even, because people that listen to this can't see it. But basically, Mira's blurred her background out, and everybody's like, what's going on? Why have you blurred it? Tell me now.
What are you hiding, Mira? We can see it all.
Okay, it's a portal. So I've just stepped through a little portal. And you can't see it because it's all behind me, I'm like...
Is it that, where those, what they're called, monoliths started appearing everywhere? Was that you?
Wow, I forgot all about that.
I wouldn't say. Wouldn't say if it was. But no, I can't take credit for that.
Okay. I wonder how they actually, people started putting them. How did that even happen? Does anyone know?
Did you know there was one on the Glastonbury tour?
Was there?
Yeah, there was one for, I think it only lasted a day or so. But it magically appeared there. I think those guys did it overnight. And just getting up the tour without any gear is hard enough as it is. So I really wonder how they did that. That must have been pretty tricky to pull off.
That's interesting, actually.
Yeah, I think there's a YouTube video on it somewhere.
Oh, what, of them putting it up?
Yeah, I think the whole story of how they planned it all and made sure that nobody saw them. They had to be quite stealthy about it. And
wow, I just got this idea of monolith ninjas.
That sounds like the greatest B-movie horror film ever.
Oh, unbelievable. Just, I don't know, just doing flips and stuff, and like with this massive fuck off monolith on their back. I don't fucking know. I'm not the brains, guys, all right? I'm not the brains. That's just, I bring the funny shit, then I fuck off, all right?
If I don't see monolith ninjas in Poundland soon, I'm really disappointed.
Straight to DVD.
Yeah.
Anyway, Mira, thank you so much for doing this. We really appreciate it.
Oh, thank you for having me. I'm really excited to meet you guys.
Oh, it's an absolute pleasure. But forgive me for the movement of the dates, because obviously last week didn't pan out. I can't even remember why now, but I do apologize massively. So
no worries. It actually suits me better today as well, so it works for both of us. Yeah.
Oh, sweet. In that case, I'll take it back.
Yeah, take it back. No,
it was meant to be.
Lovely. So basically what happens is we are going to absolutely bombard the living shit out of you with questions, okay?
Okay.
But Jamie's just going to give us a nice, beautiful little intro to get us started.
Okay, cool.
Right. If you're ready, I'll get going. Ladies and gentlemen, today we bring you another wonderful guest. Today's guest is a musician, a model, an aspiring actress, and a very spiritual being, and a lady who has a love for Tom's national animal, the unicorn. And also a lady who spent today saving a bumblebee, according to social media, which really made my day. Today, we welcome you all to the Chronicles of Mira Morningstar.
Woo! An absolute pleasure. Mira, thank you so much for being here.
Oh, thank you so much for inviting me.
Not at all. It's our pleasure. First and foremost, Normally, I start this off with asking you about your 18 months, but before I get there, I've got a little something I want to say first. So, a big fan of the show, and yours, Mira, has messaged me recently in the past couple of days. And he just wants to say one thing. Hailing all the way from Canada, he just wants to say, fuck off, darling.
Well, fuck off to you too, darling. That's what I say.
Thank you. That was Keith McCleary, everybody. That put in that little nuggets there. Thank you very much. Appreciate that massively, Keith. I know how much you love this show and how much you adore Mira. So, I thought that'd be a good way to kick it off. So
perfect.
Anyway, Mira, how has the last 18 months been for you?
18 months. Wow. Well,
pandemic season, basically.
Yeah. So a few dark nights of the soul, obviously. I think most of us have been through that. I spent about 3 months completely locked in. I didn't even go shopping or for the daily walk that we were allowed. I was really just completely locked up because I had people living here with me in this house whose immune systems were maybe not up to scratch to cope with COVID. So we all said we're going to go completely nuts, and we actually had a lockdown before the national lockdown and didn't leave the house. So I spent 3 months away from everything, which was really hard because I'm a person who needs nature. If I can't have my friends around me, I definitely need my walks, and I need to be around trees and have fresh air that doesn't just come through the window. But anyway, that was a dark time, of course, but it did force me to go inwards a lot, and all that time I then spent really focusing on what I wanted to do, and not what I didn't want to attract into my life. And I suffered from so much anxiety; it was unreal. I even had to quit my beloved coffee because it was sending me all over. I know, right? So.
Shit.
Long story short, I came out so much stronger, and I'm actually, obviously it's so incredibly sad what's happened globally, but just personally speaking, I'm really grateful to have had that time to grow as a person and to develop some skills I didn't even know I could gain. And and I feel like I'm a completely different person. I feel like I've really changed, and I feel much stronger. So, yeah.
That's amazing. It's weird. It's like it's the worst but greatest thing to ever happen. Obviously, it's been horrific that people have lost loved ones and friends and family and stuff. That's absolutely awful. And my heart goes out to every single one of them. Yeah. But obviously, it's just weird how it was like, this is really shit. But then it makes, like you say, it makes you go, but then again, I've got some time to myself now to think about this and that. And I didn't know I could do that. And what's that over there? And just like, it's just weird, incredible. So did you teach, like you said, you learned some new skills you didn't know you had. So what did you teach yourself during the time away?
So I learned a bit more about marketing and a little bit copywriting, a few more things to do with music production. I learned things about my voice as well. I've been singing since I was about 19. It's been quite some time, but you never stop learning. So, just really having all that time to focus on all these different little aspects that make up an indie artist these days. That was amazing, because usually my progress would have been so much slower. Yeah. So I just try to equip myself with more knowledge, and it's been good.
Phenomenal.
We like that. I like that. I love hearing things, because obviously, as Tom said, it's been a rather shit time. So it's great hearing positive stories coming out of it, because like you say, it's just I just love hearing the positive side of things. So a question I like to ask our guests, take us back to the start. Little Miss Morningstar, you could say. Was music always the career you wanted to take, or was it something else entirely when you first started?
It was always music. So according to my mother, I started singing before I started speaking properly. I would always just sing along to stuff in the car, and apparently my pitch wasn't too bad either. So
nice.
I always wanted to sing as far as I can remember, but because because I've had quite a rough school life and I was bullied a hell of a lot, I really didn't have the confidence to pursue anything like that until much, much later in life. And yeah, I used to spend my time swinging. I had a garden swing. I used to spend my time swinging and listening to a lot of music non-stop. That was my safe and happy place. And at the same time, I think it kind of paved the way for the ethereal music that I'm now creating, because it was always my escape, as well as an expression. And so it was more of a dream for me for many years when I was a little kid. And then when I was a teenager, I decided, the hormones kicked in and I didn't really care. I was like, oh, screw all this. Like, why should I be afraid for the rest of my life? And I thought, well, what can I do to get some confidence to actually sing in front of people? And I then decided to do some acting, which is really funny now that, that's going to happen later on next year. But anyway, I thought, oh, I should focus on acting, because when you're becoming a different person in that moment, everything else is blended out and you're not you. So therefore, my character isn't nervous. So why should I be? In the moment I'm nervous, I'm not being in character. So that's what kind of helped me early on to then transition to music. And then I went for music. Yeah.
Incredible. What were you listening to as a kid?
Mozart.
Really?
And Michael Jackson. And
one of these things is not like the other.
It's totally nothing like I create now, of course, but then I transitioned into trance music. I really loved 90s trance music as well.
Yeah.
And then suddenly I changed everything when I was a teenager. I started to get into rock music and gothic music and yeah. And metal as well. I was in a band that was quite influenced by a metal genre, and and now I make electronic ethereal music, which is kind of still connected, but it's a different thing.
Yeah, I just love the idea that you're just like, I don't know, some like just lovely piano, harps, violins, all that sort of stuff, lovely. And then it's just like, and I'm looking at the man in the. I don't know. It's just such a different the contrast. But yeah, I wonder what Michael Jackson sounds like as classical. That'd be incredible, wouldn't it?
I know, right? I mean, yeah. Well, I think a lot of artists feel that way. They take inspiration from the weirdest of places, and then it just flows through you, and you kind of put a filter on it and your own spin. I'm not saying I'm influenced by Michael Jackson now, but obviously he influenced me as a kid enough that I wanted to pursue singing. So I was a weird kid, I liked a lot of weird stuff. I like little ghosts, they were my favorite thing, and He-Man toys and all that stuff.
That is phenomenal. But that's not weird though. Kids like what they like. I think it's a societal thing. It's like girls must play with Barbie and boys must play with cars or something. But no, fuck it, you can play whatever the fuck you like.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Who gives a shit? He-Man's fucking banging.
Exactly, he's amazing. Still a He-Man fan.
Yeah.
I've got a 4-year-old daughter who's obsessed with dinosaurs. Nothing wrong with that.
No, not at all.
So, as I feel like they're connected, I feel like we should touch on it. As I stated in the intro, you're a very spiritual person. So, how did you discover like your spirituality? Is that something that's always been there, or was it like a moment? If that makes sense.
Yeah. So, spiritual. My mother is quite spiritual, so I grew up with spirituality, I guess, but there've been times in my life where of course I just questioned absolutely everything, and I just wanted to I don't know, I guess maybe it's when I was a kid and you kind of want to rebel a little bit against what your mother's doing, maybe, I don't know, but I was like, I don't want anything to do with this crystal healing shit, and I don't believe in it. And I went through phases where I guess I was frustrated because I didn't get the results that I wanted from it, or I didn't feel what I expected to feel from say anything like crystals to candle magic or whatever you want to whatever you practice. But yeah, my spirituality is actually rooted in nature itself. So I connect. We are all a part of nature, and I feel like I flourish and my soul flourishes when I can really connect myself fully and be off screen and offline for a bit, and really just focus on what's actually real in that sense, 'cause, it's all, we're all actually just one organism, and I find that amazing. It doesn't make you feel alone anymore. It makes you feeling connected, makes me really happy. So that's basically the gist of my spirituality. It's just nature and cosmos. I don't really believe in a god or anything like that either. It's everyone obviously has their own path, and I believe that they all lead to the same sort of thing. So because to me personally, to put a spin on something that's like a humanoid, and then even a gender specific humanoid, and say this is God or this is a goddess, is a bit too much of a human idea for me. I would rather think of it as some sort of energy, in which we're all a part of. But who knows? It's an adventure. It's a mystery.
Absolutely. I mean, I feel that this is probably going to get me a lot of hate, but I feel that religion's used as a weapon these days. I think people preach it and then turn it into like, oh God, how do I describe it? With everything that's going on in the Middle East and that sort of thing. It's like, my God tells me that I should, death to the West and all that sort of stuff. And then you got all the Christians that are like, you should not swear and you should not have sex before marriage and blah, 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 blah. It's like, but somebody just literally created this book and went, this would be a fun idea. And then obviously, because I don't know, I'm very agnostic. I don't believe in anything.
Fair enough, yeah.
But I fully respect it. I read on your website actually about when you go into forests and like breathing the fresh air and that sort of thing, and you go in like and come out like
That's right.
I love that concept. I was thinking about going, oh my days, that'd be, because you're literally in a forest, in the woodland, in the middle of nowhere. There's no one around, but maybe animals and birds and stuff. It must just be so tranquil and serene, and just so yeah. I was just fascinated reading it, going like, that's actually a really good point.
It's so simple, but we forget about this, and it's not enough to just go into the woods for like 2 minutes and go, oh, okay, I'm just leaving all my crappy vibes and energies here and I'm going. No, you really have to sit down and connect. And I read somewhere there's also a scientific reason why we feel more relaxed when we're in nature. It's because everything actually enters our pores, bits of the forest. Our skin's breathing as well. It's not just our lungs. So it's really penetrating your entire body. So no wonder we feel different afterwards. It's like taking a bath, So that's why it's called forest bathing. And
that was it.
Everyone should do it. I highly recommend it. Even if you just sit down and listen to music, you don't have to. The beauty is you don't even have to be skilled in anything. You don't have to practice it. You can just be and just breathe or read or meditate or do whatever you like, and it's just the simplest medicine, really.
It's because obviously humans can't function without trees, and like plants create food and bees create food, and it's so nuts how everything is intertwined and connected in some way. So yeah, I just thought it was a phenomenal read, to be honest with you.
Oh, that's really kind to say. Thank you.
Not at all. But are you not from the UK, are you?
No, I'm from Germany originally. Yeah.
So what brought you over to the UK, and why specifically Glastonbury?
Well, like I said, my mother's spiritual, and she visited Glastonbury with a friend when I was a kid, and she fell head over heels with it. And so then we visited as well, and as kids we also fell head over heels with it, and we decided to move, but we ended up in the Midlands first. It was a little long, stupid, complicated story why it took us so long to actually make it to Glastonbury. But yeah, I think the journey was something stupid like 20 years, and in the end we made it. We actually forgot that we wanted to move here in between as well, because it'd been so long. So it was my mother, really.
How'd you get to why the Midlands?
Where about in the Midlands?
Derbyshire.
Yes, but why?
Why? Well, I think we couldn't find a house as quick as we wanted. It was a bit chaotic. So we sold up our house or something, and then we just moved and couldn't find one here, and then we just ended up in Derby because that was the next thing available. It was something I don't know. I was a kid, so it was just all chaotic.
Mira moving to Glastonbury? No, to Derby.
Yeah, it was a
I'm
shock.
so sorry. Yeah.
I mean, Derby is okay, I had some good times there, but of course it wasn't exactly what I thought I would be experiencing.
Yeah.
So I went to school in Derby, and did my GCSEs and everything there. So I've had some British school life too.
No, Glastonbury is lovely though. My mum used to live in Glastonbury for a few years. So I've been there a couple of times. As you were saying when we first got on here, the walk up to the tour is an absolute killer. I'll never forget the first time I did that. It's like that. It's an absolute nightmare. But Glastonbury it's full of like paganism, spirituality. It's like this hub of the whole of the UK. It's really weird. I don't even know how to describe it. It's just like this central hub, it feels like.
Yes, well, they call it the heart chakra of the world, So many people all over the world visit Glastonbury, and they end up homesick, to a place they've never lived in. And, I obviously know this, I can relate to this feeling too. And people really seem to open up and just feel free here, probably because there is so much diversity and beliefs and spirituality and everything else, artists, you name it. So it just feels like you can be whoever you want to be here, and that's celebrated, and that's something that I haven't actually found anywhere else. I'm sure it exists elsewhere too, of course, but I've traveled quite a lot in my life, and nothing's quite like Glastonbury.
And do you hear the festival from where you are?
I've never gone to the festival. I must admit, I'm not really a festival person.
Oh, okay.
I don't really like crowds too much. It makes me feel a little bit strange. So so I've not really checked out the festival.
Can you hear it from where you are or not?
No, because it's not actually in Glastonbury itself. It's in a nearby village called Pilton, and it's miles away from here. You can see, I know, right? So it's not in Glastonbury. And a lot of people think that the Glastonbury town, is completely packed full of people during the festival, and it's not, because everyone thinks it's packed here. And they're actually all in Pilton. The town itself is pretty quiet during the festival, so it's really strange.
Fascinating. I love it. Going back to your music, so I almost found it quite like haunting in a really gothic. I really liked it. Like I think you wrote on your website like it's like an RPG game for like Final Fantasy. That sort of, it's got a really hauntingly sexy sound. I really liked it.
Thank you.
So what made you go down that road of wanting to do that? Forgive me, I completely forgot that. Is it ethereal?
Ethereal. Yeah.
Ethereal. Thank you.
Yeah.
What made you decide to use that sort of genre?
Well, like I said, I was my roots were in rock music and metal, and but I always also liked other things that were a bit more gentle and dreamy and ethereal. And well, when I didn't work with my band anymore, I can't really play guitar very well. And I decided to go solo, and then I got a keyboard and just started playing around, really, and that's what happened, and that's what I felt needed to that's what I felt I needed to channel, so to speak,
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just doing what I love, so and choose sounds that create that make me feel like I'm creating a little world or a portal to somewhere else for people to escape to when they need it most.
That's stunning.
I like that. I was reading comments on your YouTube videos earlier, and there's people saying like, I've just meditated in the bath listening to this and it was delightful and things like that. And I was like, that's great. That is what this music is perfect for. So with your music, so you do all the music yourself as well as the singing?
Yes.
That's amazing. So did you teach yourself to play keyboard and whatever other instruments you use? Or
Yes, I did. I'm self-taught when it comes to the keyboard, but I did have a vocal coach in Germany.
Amazing. That was my next question. You beat me to it. So where do you get your inspiration for your songs? And is it like lyrics wise? Is it life experiences, fictional things that have inspired you? A mix of the both?
Mix of the both, actually, and oftentimes dreams. I'll wake up with ideas, with a feeling of something that I want to put into sound. And yeah, life experiences, of course, when there are lyrics involved. Yeah, it's a little bit. I think I'm quite inspired by David Lynch a lot, and he, because he also taps into this dream state, with his meditations, and was it transcendental meditation that he does. And I feel like I'm tapping into a similar thing when I'm dreaming sometimes. It doesn't happen all the time, but with my recent song, it definitely did, where I was stuck on something and I couldn't decide which way to take it. And I went to bed and slept on it, and woke up with a completely different idea in my head, and it just chopped everything up into chunks of how it's supposed to play, if that makes sense. So I just woke up with this melody in my head. It's like, yes, this is what it has to be, and then really quickly recorded it. So it really depends.
Do you ever have those moments where you're like in the shower or something, in a completely inconvenient place, and then you start to go, oh, shit, fuck, let me write, or like, do you sing into your phone, that sort of thing?
Exactly, that's what I do. Yeah.
I love it.
I love it. I was listening to a podcast earlier on with a singer from a band, and he was saying like notes on your mobile is the greatest thing to ever be invented, because when you're walking down the road or somewhere really inconvenient, you think of something like, aha, I have somewhere to write it down now.
Yeah, it's perfect. I'm really glad we've got smartphones now. I used to resist smartphones up until just a few years ago, maybe 4 years ago or so. And I just still had a feature phone. It's like, I like my buttons. I'm old fashioned. I don't want a smartphone. But I take it all back. It's really handy for this sort of stuff.
It's like pulling the aerial out. Yeah, what? Fuck off.
Exactly. I don't know. I have the resistance to the strangest things sometimes.
Yeah, but everyone's using technology and stuff these days, and then I was like, oh, but the government are tracking me. It's like, yeah, but of course they are. Of course they're listening in. They're probably listening to this right now.
Yeah, because we're all so interesting. The government wants to know everything about us.
Yeah. Makes no fucking
Never
sense.
got that. I was just like, calm down, Susan. Your life ain't that fucking interesting. But talk about songwriting. Can you remember the first song you wrote? Like first song you ever wrote?
Oh, that's a good question. What was the first song I ever wrote? I think it was about my gerbil dying, but I'm not too sure.
I feel awful laughing.
I'm laughing too because it just sounds a bit weird. Yeah, I think it was a little transition song that I happened to write on guitar, strangely enough, but my recording skills were awful. It was all in mono. I couldn't work out how to put it on both sides of my headphones. So I was like, how do I record this? Yeah, that must be years ago now. I don't even know where that song is. It must be somewhere on my hard drive. It was called Starlight in My Forest.
Oh, get that on YouTube.
I will try.
Do it, yeah.
Re-record it.
That'd be phenomenal. But am I right in thinking you're currently writing an album?
Yes, that's right.
And how is that going?
Oh, really well. I'm almost finished.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. So what's the plans for this album then? Is there anything you can tasters you can give us?
It's going to be a lot of it is going to be like a continuation of Realm of the Unicorns.
Okay.
Because that seemed to connect the most with my listeners. So obviously I want to put out more of what they love.
Yeah.
So a lot of it is quite similar to that, I'd say. But then there have been a few people who said that they missed my vocals as well on Realm of the Unicorns. They are there, but they're pretty hidden and in the background and just really, really, ethereal and ghostly even. So in this one, there'll be a few tracks with my vocals as well. So to cater to both of my audience, so that some of them have the more instrumental stuff and then others have things with my voice on it.
Stunning. I take it you've not got, or if you're still in the works of finishing it, there's no release or a date or anything yet then, no?
No, not yet.
Okay, that's fine. Well, keep your eyes peeled, everybody. Peel them. Make sure they're peeled.
Have you ever performed your music live?
No, I'm not really so much of a live person. I mean, I used to with my band, and I really enjoyed it. It was so much fun. We used to gig in Bristol a lot, but I'm not really sure how to do it with all these layers. Like when it comes to live, I'm more of a performer when it comes to my vocals. I don't really feel like I want to play keyboard so much. It's not really me to do that live. It feels more like an intimate thing that I just do on my own time. So I would much rather sing. So for that, I'd have to, find bandmates again. And I'm not sure. I'm not ruling it out at all. But also, if you listen to some of my stuff, it's so dreamy. People are going to fall asleep. Like, what kind of gig is that? It's like, get your blankies out, everyone. So with some of the tracks from my music, I'm not sure how to pull that off live without sending everyone to sleep. So maybe I could do like a live pajama party for people or something like that.
Mira, genius. Fucking genius. That would be amazing. I'm down. I'm not going to finish that sentence, but yeah, I'm in. Count me in. Right, a question I like to ask musicians all the time is music videos, love them or hate them?
Oh, love them, but it depends. Well, it depends on how well they actually match the song. Because I don't know if you guys noticed, but sometimes music videos really don't match the lyrics or the vibe of the song. Like, I feel like, the color schemes are not quite what I imagine. Maybe that's just, because it's my imagination and it's a personal thing. But I've noticed that so many times where something sounds kind of dark, for example, and then it's also bright. Or maybe that's, obviously, maybe that's just the artistic side of it that I haven't connected to. But yeah.
I watched the one with the addresses like Little Red Riding. Is it Little Red Riding Hood?
Yeah,
that was absolutely awesome. I loved that.
Thank you. Oh, that's so old now.
I watched that one earlier. I was like, oh, she looks so different.
Yeah, no.
So I was listening to a few of your songs earlier, and there was a song that stood out to me just because it was so different to everything else that I'd listened to by, and that was Heart Armor.
Yes.
Is there a story behind that? Why it's so different, or is it just I fancy trying something different today?
Yeah, well, that one actually goes back to my rock roots, as you probably heard, and that was more, and the vocals on there are a lot more like I used to sing back in the day. It needed to come out because I was going through a horrific breakup and a really, really bad time, and I was sick at the same time, had a flu, and I couldn't do what I usually do and just go out walking. Again, I was kind of trapped, and I needed to let out these emotions somehow, and I just kept feeling like I need some sort of armor, to put on my heart against all this pain, and then I thought actually that might make it a good anthem, so I spent the whole night just on my keyboard writing my heart out, and I really just I really just had to do it that way. And I thought, oh God, I hope my fans are not going to think like I'm changing my genre now. But it was a collaboration with my best friend Explore as well. So I still love that song till this day. It makes me smile nowadays because it sort of paved our friendship as well. And so the story is a breakup song, but it's not really difficult to hear, is it? When you listen to the lyrics.
I really enjoyed the song. I feel a bit bad enjoying it so much now because you're like I was miserable and in pain.
Not
but it's really good.
Oh no, not at all. And also, a lot of people said that the concept of heart armor and just visualizing having that has helped them. And again, so that's why I've left it out there, because I feel, if it could be somebody else's anthem, then that's amazing, and it has been, and then that makes it all so worth it.
That's good. I think it's always good to have a different genres in your repertoire every now and again. Obviously, not to the point where you're doing what you're doing now and then do like fucking R&B or rap or something. Do you know what I mean? That's quite different. But you're just, what's the word? Like leveling up almost. It's like, this is a little bit different, but it's still the same like concept, but just something that I need to get out there. And obviously, I loved it as well. I absolutely really enjoyed that one.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it's still fantasy themed, isn't it? I mean, it's still got so that it kind of lines up there. But I mean, I sometimes I have the odd song that just has to come out slightly differently. And there was Pumpkin Parrot as well, a collaboration with my parrot, where the main melody and everything was actually by him, and I just translated it to keyboard. I recorded him, and it's his vocals, featuring in this song. So that was all him. So I did that as well for one Halloween. So it's
that is cool.
I listened to that earlier as well, and I would not have guessed that was a parrot. That's incredible.
That's all Snoo. Like, I'm not taking credit for it. I was just a producer.
I'm just blown away. I don't know what to say.
I was going to say, yeah, it's blown my mind.
Damn. Maybe he's got something going on there.
Yeah, he's talented. He's really cool.
Let's get him signed up.
Yeah. I know everyone wants him to bring out an album now.
Oh, Mira. Surely, or at least an EP.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I would have to get to work on that.
Yeah, absolutely. That'd be so good.
So I was going to say, with your music, you've gained a really good following. You've got a lot of fans. Like, the comments I've read on your posts on your website, the YouTube and everything like that, really, really lovely comments. How did you go about like marketing this sort of music? Because, it's not like send it into radio stations how most people would normally market music. How did you find an audience for it?
Wow, it took quite some time, because at first I didn't really know what style of music I was creating in the first place. So, how do I market it? I was like, what is this? Is it ambient? And it is, but I just wasn't sure. So my first step was figuring out what am I actually creating. And then I followed John Ojaka's courses. He's also a fellow musician, and his music marketing manifesto, where he teaches you everything from how to write blog posts to connecting with your audience and Facebook ads. So I've just been running Facebook ads, really, and that's what brought in all the right people who would enjoy my music.
Amazing. Maybe we should look into that, Jay.
I was going to say, that's not a bad idea, is it?
Yeah.
I'm going to pitch that idea.
Do you want to market for us, Mira?
I'll help you, sure.
Yeah.
Yes. Let's expand this team.
I'm still learning. I'm still at the very beginning. This is what I've been doing in lockdown. So, I'm still learning so much. And I mean, you never stop with these things, right? So
exactly.
Yeah, always happy to help you guys.
Exactly. Beautiful. I want to touch on a subject that I know absolutely nothing about, but I'm very intrigued. Crystal healing.
Crystal healing, yeah.
What exactly? What? I'm an idiot, so for dumbass guide, what exactly is crystal healing?
That's a good question, because I haven't got a clue. I mean, I'm really no expert. Like I said, I just connect to nature. Crystals are a part of nature, so what I do love about them is obviously they're really pretty, they're sparkly. Yeah. I do source them ethically, though, because there is a huge market. They're very fashionable, and the mining is not really ethical most of the time. So I think it's really important to be to be responsible when sourcing them. But yeah, so crystal healing. I've been wondering the same thing for a long time. I didn't even believe it, and to be honest, sometimes I'm still not quite sure if I do, but I do. Okay. I have had experiences where I did feel calmer holding a crystal, or I felt better wearing certain crystals around me. And I'm not sure if that is just a psychological thing, or if, maybe it's a scientific thing where minerals can enter our pores after some time. I mean, water, natural spring water, gets filtered through stone. So, and that's how we take up a lot of minerals, which then help us feel better. So maybe there's something like that too, and or just an energy thing that we haven't understood yet. So I don't base my life around crystals, but they look amazing. I love them. I've been so lucky to have been gifted so many by really sweet friends, and I love what they stand for, what they symbolize, and how they all have different meanings. So yeah, I like to just dabble in that and have a play and just surround myself with them, because why not?
No, well, exactly. It's lovely. Yeah. I mean, I was expected to be like, well, here's the starter's guide to give me the entire rundown. But it's the fact that the earth creates such magic and wonderment, as you would say. Like you could literally just look at it and go, that's just stone. Someone just chop it, I'll crack into it, ever turn around, it's just like bright purple and pink and bluey. Like how?
I know,
how
right?
has this been created? I don't understand.
Yeah, magic. There's
incredible.
natural magic right there. So
Yeah.
I've got to say, considering you started that answer with "I haven't got a bloody clue either," it was a fantastic answer.
It really was.
I was really impressed.
It's true though.
To move on to something that you do know about, I saw that you also do some modelling as well.
I do, yes.
How did that come about? Was that something that you sought out to do, or were you approached?
No, so this is years and years ago, I think about, must be maybe 7-8 years ago, if not longer, I noticed that if I just post something on Facebook, no one sees it. And I thought, even if it's just a song, you know, back in the day, I just used to post drafts of my songs and stuff. And I just noticed no matter what you post, even if you just write something, you kind of need a caption with it. You need a photo with your caption. And I just didn't know what photos to post. So I thought, well, maybe go out and take some, I guess. I made my boyfriend take photos of me. And then I saw some fantasy images that I really liked. And I thought, this is a whole new way to express myself as well, to have photos to go with my songs, you know, and to carry on that story in a visual sense. So, you know, obviously there are music videos, but then there's also that. So and then I fell in love with the whole concept of just dressing up and going to the woods. You know, it made me feel like a little girl, and you know, you just dress up to be another character again. And so that's why, you know, unicorns, Red Riding Hood, and you name it. So it was a dress up thing, and just a way to find something to post online, really. And now it's just become part of it all.
It's about because you were on a cover of Shine Your Light magazine,
and
you also featured in Faye
magazine, yes,
yeah.
Karen Kay's publication. She also does fairy events here in Glastonbury, usually twice a year. And she's lovely. She's a good dear friend of mine.
That's amazing. To be on a cover must have been unreal.
Oh gosh, yeah, and that happened in the pandemic as well. I was like, whoa, this
really?
is so crazy. Yeah, you know, like in the middle of the pandemic, I was approached by Shine Your Light, and they asked for one of my photos for their cover. I was so honored. I thought it was so amazing. I didn't expect that, you know, to just happen in the middle of all that going on. Yeah.
Stunning. Love it.
Amazing. So have you always been comfortable in front of the camera, or was this sort of like this will be good for my page? Come on, let's do this. Just take the bloody photo now. You know?
Oh my God. Not at all, no. I didn't know what to do at all when it came to posing, or, you know, how to control my face. Just always looking like quirky and goofy, and like I just couldn't, like, I had no control over my facial muscles. I didn't know what to do with my hair. I could just, you know, go on and on. No, not at all. It was a learning curve, but as I said, I developed a passion for it, and then obviously the more you do something, the better you become. And you know, I wouldn't say that I'm, you know, really great at modeling these days, but I've certainly had a lot of experience, and I'm confident that if I do a shoot, that, you know, something good will come out of it. So but you know, we all have days where we feel we can do certain things better than others. So
I suppose so. Is there any other like styles you've wanted to do modeling wise? Is there anything you've really wanted to do that you haven't done yet?
I don't know. No, I think I just love my fantasy thing at the moment. Well, I don't know, maybe something a bit more. I love computer games, so you know, maybe I could just dress up as one of my favorite game characters or something one day. That would be fun.
Incredible.
But,
like who?
Like that's the problem, you know, be a guy, so it wouldn't really work. Now that I've said that, I'm just laughing to myself. Be a King Graham from King's Quest, that makes no sense. I wouldn't put it off. So maybe not.
I was so hoping you'd be like Mario.
Oh yeah. Well, I could be the princess, right?
Princess Peach,
is that her name? Yeah, I could have blonde hair, and then someone else had to be Mario. But yeah, I don't know.
So I ask about you being comfortable in front of the camera because coming soon, you're going to be doing a couple of films with our good friend, Mr. Keith McCleary, as you mentioned earlier. One of those, myself and Tom will be joining you in, called Compared to You.
Yay!
Now, is acting something that you sought out? You wanted to go? You mentioned earlier you wanted to dabble in when you're younger, or was this Keith going, right, you could be in a film with me? Because that's what he did to us. So.
Is it? Oh. No, he had no clue that I love acting. It was just that I focused on music because I didn't really have the time, unfortunately, to focus on both, and I missed acting, and always sort of hoped that I'd find my footing back into it one day. But I used to do theatre, so I haven't done film. That's going to be totally new to me. And no, Keith, bless him, he just sent me an email because we've got really great chemistry. We're amazing friends, and he just offered me the part, and I'm so grateful.
He is good.
No, he didn't push me.
Do it.
I mean, if he physically pushed you, you'd fucking fly about 15 miles across the fucking room. You know what I mean?
I know, right?
The guy is massive. I like to just mention that every now and again because it's just fun to do so. You were actually part of the Tapness podcast. You've been part of the Tapness podcast a few times now, I believe.
Yes, twice.
Yeah.
Doing great.
How was that? How was being a part of it? You enjoy it?
Oh, I love it. I wouldn't have been back otherwise. No, I absolutely loved it. I think I got really, really caffeinated for the last one. Don't know if you guys saw it, but oh my gosh, we were both quite hyped.
Yeah, did you talk for 7 hours?
Oh no, not on the podcast. Podcast was 7 hour podcast.
I was gonna say, geez.
We could have though. I'm sure we could have. Maybe we should do that. Maybe do a 7 hour podcast one.
Yeah.
No, we were talking about all sorts of things, and I think we were watching movies that night. I can't remember, but no, time flies when we talk. So
beautiful. Yeah. I love that.
So, how are you feeling about being in these movies? Are you excited or are you nervous? Is it a nice mix of the two? Because that's how I feel.
Oh well, I'm just excited now. I'm probably gonna have some nerves at some point, but they are. Excitement and anxiety are kind of the same thing. They're the same. It does the same to your body. Your heart rate goes up and you feel a little bit jittery. So it's a good practice to change nervousness into excitement. And so that's what I'm always trying to do these days. Whenever I feel like I'm doing something new and I'm pushing my boundaries, I just sort of go, oh, I'm excited, and talk myself into that instead. So, and that's work. That's another thing that I learned in the pandemic, to just become excited rather than nervy all the time. And so yeah, I don't feel nervous at all. I'm just super excited. I think it'll be fun, and I can't wait to do acting again. And what I know of the script is absolutely amazing. It's gonna be great, and you guys are there too, so it'll be cool.
I can't wait.
It's gonna be fucking fun. It's gonna be so much fun.
Yeah.
But yeah. So you've seen the script, have you?
And he's only told me parts of it. I haven't seen the whole thing.
We know nothing yet.
So we don't know anything.
Oh.
We know nada. Anyway, right. This is meant to be about you. So let's carry on. I want to go back to your website. So what I love about your website is the blog side of things, where you talk about an absolute abundance of different subjects. Like there's so many different things on there: mental health, environment, the forest bathing we talked about earlier, your music, and even my country's national animal, the unicorn, which I love so much. I love the variety, getting to express yourself and all that sort of stuff. But what is National Unicorn Day?
I think it is just celebrating the unicorn. I looked into it too, and it's like, wow, National Unicorn Day. It's just a celebration of our so-called mythical animal, or mythical beast. Yeah, it's something that I admit I just discovered it through social media. Other people were posting about it and saying, oh, happy National Unicorn Day. It's like, well, how can I not make a blog post on that day and talk about my album? So yeah.
Absolutely. I love the idea of the Scottish people just being like, what the fuck can we do to piss the fucking English off, mate? What animal could we have that'd be like, let's make everybody be like, what the fuck's going on up there? Hey, I know, we'll have a fucking unicorn. Fuck 'em. I love it. I love that idea, and that we have a thistle as our national flower.
That's perfect. That's just amazing that you guys have that.
I do love the fact the Scots have a unicorn, the Welsh have a dragon, and the English just like, we'll have a lion.
Well, lions.
We're not going to make one up. But I did want to talk about your album. We actually brought it back nicely. So as you called it, Realm of the Unicorns. So what is it about unicorns that you love so much? The fact you named your album, you can put the name in there as well.
Yeah, well, the funny thing is, how most people, or a lot of people I know who love unicorns, they usually love them since childhood or something like that. It's like quite a childlike thing for a lot of people. When I was a kid, I wasn't interested in unicorns. It was ghosts and He-Man and vampires, and so.
Don't need a unicorn. I got Battle Cat.
I wasn't interested in them. It was really strange. So that didn't happen until I was in my 20s. So when I was 20s, that's when I started to get into them. And it started off more like a fun thing. I think I thought it was because I was quite gothy for a very long time, and then I started incorporating a few unicorny things as more like a jokey kind of thing, and I thought they were cute. That all the pastel colors and stuff with the black. I thought, why not? And then I looked into them spiritually, and then I thought, wow, this is pretty cool. They are so pure. Imagine something so pure that can heal everything. And so Realm of the Unicorns came about when I had a really horrible thing happen to me in the middle of a really rough time in my life. How sometimes you have phases where it doesn't just hit you once, it hits you like twice and three times, and you just almost get knocked over by a series of events. And my best friend at the time, he was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer, and he passed away. And I was in the middle of a house move, actually coming to Glastonbury finally. And then the whole household, like everything just completely split up. Some family members moved away to other countries, so I ended up missing them, and like my whole I felt uprooted. And then somebody when I was walking home one night held a sports horn right to my ear from behind. And I was just walking, and I think it was a really stupid prank or something, but I felt, it was an assault. It was so loud. It was so painful. I jumped in the air, and my ear started swelling up and internally, and I couldn't hear properly. And this was straight after I finished a music mixing course. So, I had just really trained my ears and fine-tuned them, and then that happened, and I was about to release my debut album. So I was destroyed. I was so anxious and so scared. I had a tinnitus and constant beeping in my head, and I was on a waiting list for about 6 months to even get it checked out properly. So I had no idea if I'd ever be able to make music. I had no idea if I'd be able to enjoy music. All I knew was that this ringing wouldn't stop. My hearing was muffled on one side, and I couldn't stand any noise that was just remotely loud, like even the scraping of a plate and with your knife on a plate or something, that was too harsh and already hurt my ears. So a few months later I heard that it was actually called hyperacusis, when you're super sensitive to sounds. So at that time I really didn't know what to do. I was on this waiting list, and I thought, well, I need to calm my nervous system somehow. I did try antidepressants, and they just made everything worse. I felt like I was going crazy for 3 days and stopped. And I thought, no, I'd rather just, know what I'm feeling than not know what's going on and be on drugs, So, it might help some people, but it really didn't do it for me. And so then I looked at, went down the YouTube rabbit hole and started looking for meditations, and I wasn't into meditating at all at that point. But I thought, well, maybe that will help calm me down a little bit. So looked at some meditations, and I found this guided unicorn meditation where you meet your spirit animal, your spirit unicorn, and it has a message for you. So I did that, and then I felt after that, I felt like I needed to create my own meditation music with unicorns, or with that energy in mind. And so I just opened myself up to that and said, okay, if unicorns exist, then I invite you to the space with me, and create something with me that is soothing. So I spent a long time selecting sounds that would mask my tinnitus, and then calm my mind, and use that as my meditation background, because I couldn't find anything that I couldn't handle online. So I decided to make my own. And so once I put it out, I was just so amazed that it really helped other people too. It was like a self-medicating thing that I had to make. And it feels like I haven't really written it. I don't know if that makes sense. A lot of creatives say the same thing. Actually, they look back on it and go, I don't know how that happened. How did that just come about? It's just, you get lost in the process. So yeah, that's the long story of Around the Unicorns.
That's incredible. I mean, I'm so sorry about what happened, with losing your friend and stuff, and people are fucking assholes as well. So
yeah,
how unnecessary. Was it an air horn, was it?
Yeah, one of those, like, these really horrible ones. But my hearing's fine now. I had I had an ENT check over. I had tests. Everything's fine. I healed. And the funny thing was, she said to me, you need to meditate to get rid of tinnitus, because it's actually just your brain giving you an alarm signal. So it was really good that I started so early with all that. And once she said that to me, that's when I religiously started meditating. She said to me, you've got the power to heal in your own hands. And I thought that was so amazing to hear that from, a medical, an actual doctor, and not just, the lovely Glastonbury people. I mean, they're not medically trained. I had so many things that they told me to take, like different routes and stuff. But I really needed someone to check me out properly that time and see what was going on. And so meditation in my case was what solved tinnitus and made it go away and eventually. And yeah, it's amazing how your body can heal, when you give it the tools, when you've got the right tools, how you can heal yourself. It's amazing.
Awesome. That's beautiful. I've heard so many positive things about meditation in the past. It's something I really do want to try at some point, just to see how it works.
Try maybe 5 minutes or something. So I'd start slow, because if you put yourself in a zone for 20 minutes, it might make you really tired. That's what it did to me. I felt like I couldn't function. I felt like I was taking a nap. So started with 5 minutes in the morning and 5 minutes in the evening, and then gradually built up to 10 minutes, and then sometimes even 20 minutes. And well, the way I do it, I put on the background music, and I just focus on breathing. You just focus on your breath, and you just notice it. Like, don't try and change it, just notice your breath, and then try and slow it down a little bit, and just focus on your breath continually. Listen to the music, and whenever you'll have thoughts popping into your head, and when that happens, it's really important not to engage with them emotionally and not to think about them too much. Just see them like, imagine yourself to be on a skyscraper, and you're looking down at all the cars, and you're not focusing in on any of those cars, but they're there. Now imagine if those were your thoughts, and they're just going by, and one car after the other just going by, and that's your thoughts. And that's how I meditate. I just let them go, and I just let them pass by. And sometimes there are some of them, of course, they're quite emotional, and I'll go, okay, thanks for alerting me that I need to look into that, just, and then breathe it away again. And if you do that, you train yourself to be able to compose yourself when you need to as well. I've noticed, like, I feel like I'm not always a victim of my own emotional state anymore, and I used to feel a bit trapped in my head. I'm sure we all go there sometimes. But yeah, so that's how I personally do meditation, but there are loads of different ways to do it.
That's amazing.
Fascinating. I know. Just listen to your talks, just fascinating. I'm just like lost. I've found myself like zoning out, just listening to you talk, and I'm like, oh yeah, we're interviewing.
I'm rambling so much. I'm sorry.
No. Rambling's what we like. We like people talking. This is we do a show on top of this interview, so people listen to us enough. So it's all about the guests. It's all about you. So this is what we want. We want you to give us loads, Mira. It's lovely. I'm feeding off it.
I'm glad it's not boring you to hell.
Oh hell no!
No.
Oh.
So you finally you released the album, and what was the reception like? The feedback you got from?
It was amazing. It was just so touching to hear how it calmed people down and how they even used it for their pets. Sometimes when like someone's dog needed some love or a cat was sick, they'd play Realm of the Unicorns for them, and they told me that it chilled them right out, and I didn't know that it would have that effect on some animals too. I thought it was so sweet. But no, I feel so honored that it's become a soundtrack to so many for when they need it most, and just to chill out or to find some escape. It's been really good, and that's why I'm so determined to carry on down that path and create more of similar kind of music. It's
like some sort of superpower without realizing you had a sort of superpower, that you soothe animals with your tunes as well.
Oh yeah, I love animals, and one of my goals is to help them as much as I can, as well as the environment, because the animals, it's just, I feel like they don't have a voice. Of course they do, but we're not listening, and we're not really hearing it. So I'd like to be a voice for them if I can, or as much as I can.
Yeah, I just want to take all the beagles. I'll have all the beagles, please. Every last one of them. I fucking love beagles.
Oh.
So no, I'm the same with Dachshunds. I really want one. Little sausage dogs are the best. Anyway. So what sort of, from making this album, what sort of things did you learn that you're going to take with you into the next album?
I learned, well, in terms of production, or
just in general.
Yeah. Oh yeah, a few little production hacks, definitely. Because it's been a few years now since I've released the album, and I feel like I've learned a lot more. How as an artist you'll look back and go, oh no, I could have done it this way, I could have changed it. Like, I think every artist has that. So now I know what I would change, and some things I'd approach differently. But that's pretty much it. Like, my writing process is really I'm in a sort of trance state when I do it. It's not really something where I watch myself what I'm doing. I just follow my ears, if that makes sense. Like, my ears tell me when it's right, and then I feel it. And once I feel it's right, that's when the song becomes a song. So I don't really approach it with too much logic or thought. I feel like the best thing is to really just, let the music speak, and not my head. Yeah, not sure if that makes any sense, but I think
it makes complete sense. I love it. Yeah. It's wonderful. Tom, have you got any more questions before we wrap up?
Just, when you were growing up and moving around, to a brand new country and that sort of thing, did you ever think that life would end up where it is, where you are today? Do you ever think that you'd be here now doing what you're doing?
No, not at all. Like, if I look back at that poor little bullied girl who thought she was the ugliest thing ever born and kicked by like 20 people in her class, no, I would have never thought that I'd end up actually singing, doing what I love, even modeling, and and acting now as well, meeting so many amazing people, having such wonderful listeners and fans and friends all over the world. I would never thought that. I'm so incredibly grateful.
Yeah, and to all those bullies, fuck
you. Yeah. I was literally just about to say the same thing. Yeah. It's amazing, but it shows, if there's like younger people who have been bullied and whatnot, they listen to things like this, it shows that it's not always going to be that way. You don't have to let it take you into, because I was bullied relentlessly as a kid as well. I know Tom suffered from bullying as well, but you don't take it with you. Once you're out of there, just leave it behind.
Yeah, it can take some time, right? I mean, it depends on like why you were bullied, of course, as well. And how long for. Like for me, it was like 4 years, and I was really young. I was only 7 years old when it started, I think, or even 6 years old. And yeah, that is just so ingrained in me, but yeah, definitely, like, I think what's really important is, when a kid gets bullied, I think it starts off some internal voice. It changes your internal voice, and it makes them bully themselves on a daily basis. Even if the bullying outside stops, you still bully yourself. You somehow believe that you're not worthy, that you're ugly, or this and that and the other, or that you can't do things, and it kicks your confidence off. And a lot of people then try to find validation outside of themselves, and that doesn't seem to help or work either. It really has to come from within, because that's when it started as well. I mean, it started externally, but once you've internalized it, that's when the problem sits here, really. So I think it's really important for anyone who's gone through any sort of bullying, no matter what age, to change your internal dialogue. And I think a lot of the time it's a cultural thing. We go, oh, I'm stupid, for doing this. Oh, I'm so stupid, or I'm so this and that, and your body is always listening, to everything you say. So it's really important to not do that, and to instead to just make it more playful. Go, that's funny how that didn't work out, but don't make it negative. And if you do that enough, then once your internal dialogue has changed, it just changes everything. The whole way you carry yourself, your whole approach to new things. And once that changes, you can, the world's your oyster. You can believe in yourself and do anything you like, really. But yeah, change it from within, and then everything outside will change as well. But if you think about biting into a lemon, I always use that example. Your mouth usually starts to water, or think about eating something really nice, or think about something really disgusting. Your body has a reaction to it. That's the point. So that shows you how powerful your thoughts are. You're just thinking about the thing. It's not right there, but your body believes it is, because you just thought about it. So that just goes to show how important it is to have healthy thoughts and to detox your bad thoughts.
Mira,
it's such a learning curve, isn't it?
Mira, you are an inspiration.
Yeah,
that was
beautiful. That was beautiful,
stunning. And I don't want to say anything more and stuff like that now. That's a beautiful way to end this. Absolutely stunning.
Oh, thank you guys, so sweet.
Before we do let you go, though, we do like to play a little game with our guests, if that's okay with you.
Yeah, let's do it.
We call it the quick fire round. We give you 5 questions and you answer them as quick as possible. It's as simple as that.
Okay.
First question. Your first ever job?
Hairdresser.
Oh, cool.
Amazing. One word people would use to describe you?
Unicorn. True. That's what they do in this town.
Your favorite joke?
My favorite joke? Fuck off, darling. I can't think of anything else. I'm not really a joke person, just like
phenomenal.
That was great. Oh. That threw me off then. Who would play you in the movie of your life?
I don't know. Someone cool.
Someone cool.
Hopefully. I don't know. Richard Gere.
Yeah, that's an amazing answer. Hell yeah. I'll take that.
We're going with it. I like it. And last but not least, one piece of advice you would give to a younger version of yourself if you had a little time machine.
Piece of advice. Yes, don't listen to that internal voice. Like I just said, switch it around. Don't believe what they tell you, but that you're worthless and ugly and you should be dead. Don't believe that. Don't internalize it, and it will all get better.
Beautiful.
Love that. It's beautiful.
Absolutely beautiful.
Wonderful. Mira, please let everyone know where they can find you in the world, not your address, like on the internet. any plugs, social medias, etc.
Well, I'm on social media as Mira Morningstar. My first name is spelled Mira, and then Morningstar together in one word. My website is miramorningstar.com. And there you can also get some free music and sign up to get some updates whenever I have a new blog post and stuff. So, yeah.
Wonderful. Mira, this has been an absolute pleasure. We've really, really enjoyed having you.
Amazing.
We've really enjoyed it. We look forward to seeing you properly next year.
Thank you.
It's going to be so much fun. And we hope you enjoy the rest of your evening.
Thank you. You too, guys. And yeah, thank you again for having me. It's been so great. And you're awesome. And I can't wait to meet you.
Yeah.
And work
It's
with you.
Amazing.
It's going to be phenomenal. Mira, you take care of yourself and we'll see you soon.
And you. Oh, yeah. And let me know if you want any help with the marketing. I'll try and
Yes.
help you.
That'd be beautiful. Appreciate that. Thank you. So we seriously appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, no worries.
All right. You take care now. Thank you very much.
See you later.
Bye-bye.